Hello, everybody. Kat forgot to make an intro, so we are the intro. We're going old school style here. I'm Kat. Happy Tuesday. And I am joined by Rod, my co-host, picking and punching. And then below me is Jride Flips. Jake has not been on before. And then Jocelyn hasn't been on with me in like forever. She covered for me and Rod while we were in Phoenix, but we weren't here. So I'm super happy to have her on with me at the same time. And we are going to get to your questions, but I'm going to let Jake and Jocelyn introduce themselves in case you do not know them. And yeah, then we'll do the questions. So here is Jake.
Hey, what's up, guys? I go by Jride Flips here on social media. My name is Jake Ryder. I live in Utah, kind of on the Arizona border. I've only been doing eBay for 2 years next month, and I've been doing YouTube for about 6 months, talking about eBay stuff.
Perfect. All right, Jocelyn.
My name is Jocelyn. I am the Crazy Lamp Lady on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Hi.
Yeah, she's everywhere. She's all the places. Same name. All right, let's see what we got. Cindy wants to know, based on prior years, what do you anticipate we should be sourcing now to sell in January?
Yeah, so I'll talk about that. So I think that you should really be looking for high sell-through rate items regardless of the year, whether it's March or January or December or September. As long as the sell-through rate is super quick, it doesn't matter what you are or aren't sourcing because it's going to sell anyway. But then if you're looking for some like long tail items, I sell a ton of snow goggles and ski goggles from Oakley and Bolay and things like that. Obviously, you want to be looking for your North Face and Patagonia jackets, but anything that's like super seasonal with that, I've actually sold 7 Cocoa Motions this week. The hot chocolate maker. That's definitely something that you guys want to be looking for when it's cold.
I've never even heard of that.
I know. I'm gonna go look that up. That sounds like something Juliet would like.
Uh-huh.
All right. Does that mean it's my turn?
Yep.
It does.
I don't really. I just sell stuff all year round. I don't really. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm like, oh, this will sell. This is cool. And then I pick it up and I resell it, regardless of what time of year it is.
So yeah, I'm pretty much the same as Jocelyn there. I do sell things all year round and just list it. But I would say if you're looking for things specifically for like January, for me in the past, I would tell you what sells really good graphing calculators because college is starting a new semester and they sell like hotcakes at that point in time. Also, too, gaming accessories because everyone's getting like brand new systems for the holidays. Every year I sell a ton of like controllers, cords, and video games in the beginning of January because everyone's got new systems for the holidays and they're looking for things to pair it up with. And also, too, I sell a ton of Christmas stuff after Christmas because people are putting their stuff down. They would try to look for other things that maybe they want for the following year. And, you know, you can really, there's still a lot of Christmas stuff still up. So I actually sell a lot of Christmas stuff in January.
So I'm like Jocelyn too, and I just pick up stuff year round. I don't really do seasons. If I find Christmas or Halloween, I list it when I find it. If that's January, it's January. If it's October, it's October. I am doing what Jake said, though. I'm trying to pay a lot more attention to the sell-through rates because I have a store full of long tail items. I have 6,000 items. And so I'm trying to find faster sell-through rate and be less of a storage center. So I agree with him. Check the sell-through rates. I don't think I've really impressed out enough over the years with my channel because I just pick up whatever I want. And I get a lot of lots, which end me up with a lot of long tail stuff. I'll have a few fast selling, and then I've got like boxes of these longer tail items. Jocelyn buys the auction lots too. So like you end up with like all this stuff. So I'm trying to buy... I'm still buying lots, but I'm buying individual items that are a faster sell-through rate to kind of add in. And I would say the same stuff that's selling now, because people get gift cards and cash for Christmas too, and then they'll go buy gifts for themselves. So I think the collectibles and stuff will be doing good in January as well. Did campers great finds? Question about Cabbage Patch balls. Cabbage Patch balls. Okay, Kat. I can't talk today. I bought one for next to nothing in an estate sale. I didn't realize there's so much to know. Colored signatures, head mold number. Does anybody know the answer to this question about Cabbage Patch dolls?
I don't buy dolls.
Yeah, I mean, Cabbage Patch dolls specifically, no, but I find things all the time that have model numbers and serial numbers. So the serial number, every single item has a different number, so that way you can tell which actually item it is. But then there's model numbers. You want to find things that have model numbers and then search in those model numbers into eBay and you'll see things pull up. Really anything. So I sell a few car parts as well. So there's always the serial number to identify the actual unit itself. But then if you just type in the actual model number, you're usually able to get the thing to pop up. I'm sure you'd be able to find things on dolls, on plastic toys, on plushes, on really anything.
That was a great answer.
Thanks.
Rod?
So when it comes to Cabbage Patch, it really actually comes down on the back of the head. There's going to be some numbers on the back which you can look up. Also, too, on the back, when you take like the clothes off the back, you can actually look for the signature on there. You can actually search by the signature. There's actually websites dedicated to that, but the best person to follow is Daily Cabbage. If you're not familiar with her, she does strictly nothing but Cabbage Patch dolls, and she's an expert, and she is a wealth of knowledge. So there's tons of us in the community that reach out to her. She's on Instagram. Go follow her, Daily Cabbage, on Instagram. And if you have any questions, send her a picture, and I'm sure she'll answer it for you.
Perfect. Yeah, almost everything, guys. If you want to learn about like one particular thing, there's probably a YouTuber that specializes in it. I specialize in nothing. I can teach you little bits about lots and lots of things.
I think Kevin did a video too with her, so you can actually, I think it's on his Flipper channel, which they did like a whole breakdown about Cabbage Patch dolls, like the best selling ones, what to look for.
Almost every category is going to have high dollar selling things. Almost everything.
Yeah.
There are going to be the rare one-offs that are worth a ton of money in every category. But yeah, that's a good idea. If you want to learn about that one thing, go find that one person. Not the one person. There might be other Cabbage Patch specialized people that do it, and you can learn a lot about it. Miss Bridget wants to know, what sticker machine do I use? So I use Off Nova to make my own little stickers. I will admit I have not made them in about 6 months. I bought some off for 99 cents because, yeah, I just did. But Off Nova is the machine that I use, and Rod uses it for his regular labels. My Dymo is still kicking, so I haven't had to use the Off Nova for my labels yet. All right, Jocelyn. How long can it take to be approved on knickknacks?
I get this question almost on the daily. We currently have 1,800 seller applications. I've whittled it down to 1,800, but it's still taking time to get through everybody. And I'm literally going through them one by one and checking out if you've included links to other selling platforms. I'm looking at feedback. I'm looking at the type of items that are being sold. So there's a process to it. And I really have no timeline that I can give other than, I'm trying to do at least 20 a day. The past 2 days, I've gotten a ton done because I haven't had anything else to do. So I've just been sitting at my laptop. And I think we're up over 500, almost to 600 now.
Yeah, so it's going up fast. And then initially, what was the date? It was, after our live, the 26th. So
that was
she started approving people early. Yeah, and already over 500. Joanne wants to know, what are the fees on knickknacks? I'm going to assume she means for sellers would be what I would think.
Yes. So the fees are 10% plus processing fees. So district gets 5% and I get 5% and then 2 to 3% processing.
Perfect.
So it comes out to about 12 to 13%. I don't know the exact processing. I probably should because I get asked this question all the time.
Probably 2.9. That's usually what
like
it is.
The 30 cents plus 2 point. That's like the
2.9. It's like the standard.
What is it? Okay.
Yeah,
like,
so
I don't know.
Plus 2.9.
Yeah, 3. Just say it's about 3%. That's
okay.
Yeah, here you go.
So it's about that.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So that's about average. Mercari, I think, is a little higher than that now even. Absolute Fine wants to know, how do you make a listing of a pick your own lot for one price? For instance, she's saying 20 items and you can pick 4 of the item for the same price. So if she has a lot of 20, she's saying she could let people choose 4. And if you're in the chat still, I'm going to assume you are. I know you're here most of the time. Let us know where you mean. Because on platforms like eBay, that would be really difficult. But like on Whatnot or a live selling platform, that would be super easy to do. So I guess if you know a way on eBay that she could do this or a suggestion for her, and we'll watch and see if she lets us know where she means.
One quick suggestion is you can just kind of, if the lot is 20, if you just break it into 20 individual items, and then people can put the 4 items that they want in their cart, and then you can send them an invoice, or you can just have them message you, hey, I want these 4 items. What price can you give me on eBay?
I mean, the easiest thing probably would be to put $5 an item across the board, and then you can do a multi-quantity listing, and then they can just add as many pieces that they want to that. But I mean, if you're going to do pick, it's going to be more difficult at the end of the day, just for the fact that if people have to message you, and then you have other people trying to buy, and it's going to be more of a headache for you. So you may just want to do a multi-quantity listing, have list everything individually is like $5, and then they can just make their own, make their own purchase. Or you just show different maybe pictures of the 4 in a lot already, and then you have 10 different lots they can choose from, or something along those lines. But
I feel like I've seen that on like Mercari that people do that. But then what you have to do is you have to go edit the front photo every time and like mark out the ones that have sold. I would probably just do them individually.
Yeah,
if it was a live auction, it would be easy. You tell them pick 4 things. We're starting it at $20, and then they could do it. But on eBay, it would be hard.
Well, no, on eBay you just have the main photo, and then when they go in there's a drop down they click on, and then it would actually
it shows each one.
It shows each one on there, and then it'll say like sold and buy all the other ones. So you can just keep that main photo, and then all your other photos will be an individual photo of each item, and then you have the drop down, and then it would automatically there'll be like messaged out where you can't actually click on those ones, only the ones that are currently available.
I hate those. I hate those listings. Like I will list 5 lots of 4 and I'll pick for them. That's what I would do if it were me.
Yeah.
Cause I don't like the variation listings. Even when I had different sizes, I just did separate listings. I'm like, I'm not doing it's a pain in the butt. Yeah. Like I feel like it's easier to just make a separate listing for each size, but yeah. Okay, Junk Monkey, we already answered. I'll put it up here, but Jocelyn just let us know there are 1,800 applications sitting there right now.
That's
so
crazy.
She is making her way through there. There was an email. Does anybody know? I know Mark 2, Not Your Dad's CPA, sent out an email about this. Jake, do you know about the $600? I'm going to look at my email while you might have something to tell us.
Yeah, they've pushed it back again. The current reporting that eBay sends you a IRS form, the 1099 is 20,000. It's still in limbo if they're gonna adjust that to like 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, but it's not 600 currently. And as it still stands, I think it's still at 20,000 that you will be issued a 1099 from eBay.
There it is. So Mark just put Mark 2, and I knew I just got an email from him. He is not your dad's CPA. He is a reseller accountant. So he just put a video out about it, but it looks like it is delayed again.
Yep.
Ooh. Sherry wants to know if anyone is still buying Christmas items to list and sell.
Yeah, I think we all kind of answered that. We just we keep listing everything we pick up.
Yeah. I just I priced some stuff for my booth, so I'm still buying it for my booth.
Christmas and Halloween items sell great all year round, so I will buy them whenever I see them if they're valuable, and I'll put them up. Doesn't matter if it's day before Christmas or day after Christmas.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I pick them up and sell them all year round.
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence wants to know, can you change info on Mercari labels for shipping, or do you have to pack items in the listing stage? So on Mercari, you have to choose the weight and you cannot edit it after. So you need to know an accurate weight. So it's not like eBay where you can change the weight after. But if you're printing your own label and buying it from Pirate Ship, then it wouldn't matter. But I use Mercari's labels and there's no editing after you have sold the item. So you would need to know a pretty close between 1 and 2 pounds, 2 and 3, etc. And if it's off though, don't cancel the sale. You can ship it and Mercari will charge you for the difference if there is one, just FYI. Ask me how I know.
So, hey, I want to address this from earlier. It doesn't matter what state you're in for the taxes. If you make any money selling online, technically you're supposed to claim it.
Yeah.
All right. So it doesn't matter what state you're in. Keep that in mind. You can do whatever you want for your business. We're not telling you what to and what not to do. But trust me, we know people that have been busted for not reporting, and they will eventually find you. But so even if you make $601 or $599, like, even though eBay doesn't issue a paperwork, you're still supposed to claim it regardless.
Yes. And on eBay, guys, there is an electronic record that is pretty easy to obtain by the IRS, whether you turn it in or not. And I tell the story all the time. My best friend from middle school had to pay back taxes for 3 years of eBay selling. They got her, even though she didn't get a 1099. With interest, guys, with interest. And then you can't claim all your deductions. So
Yeah.
I would suggest claiming it whether you get a 1099 or not. Taylor says, have any of us ever ended our listings and scheduled them to relist 1 per hour for 24 hours? So he or she, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, is saying, like, have you scheduled them where like one's going live at 8, one at 9, like 24 hours around the clock?
Yeah, so on my channel, I like to do experiments for my audience. So I'm in the camp of listing consistently every single day. So I had a draft bank of 240 items. I list the same amount every single day, no matter what. Then I did an experiment where I listed 5 today, 0 tomorrow, 39, then 4, then 16, then 7. Now I've actually just barely started to do the little by little. So I'm doing 20 items a day, starting at 6 a.m. all the way until, 2 a.m. And yeah, I'm seeing the exact same results, and I've been doing it for 3 days. So that's actually kind of funny that you asked that.
You're seeing the same results, dropping them hourly as versus dropping all at once, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and my hypothesis is that it really doesn't matter, and I can't imagine a world where it actually does matter. There's literature on YouTube and TikTok that it doesn't matter when you actually drop your video. It just matters that you're putting your video up and that people actually want to click on the video or on eBay, click on your item and buy it.
I love it. I have never ended my listings or scheduled them to relist 1 per hour. I used to, back when I had 3 employees working with me to list. We would do 20 to 30 listings every single day, 7 days a week. But usually we would start them at 7 o'clock, and I would just run them starting every 3 minutes at 7 o'clock every night, every single day. But
You would space them 3 minutes apart, or they'd all go live at 7?
3 minutes apart. I would schedule all the listings through, and then they'd end when they end, depending on how many listings I started every night. But it was usually 20 to 30 every single day.
So almost like high bid, where they're ending like one auction every minute. So if
Exactly.
somebody wants to bid on more than one.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've ended listings throughout the day and tried to list different times of the day, but it didn't really make that big of a difference. I would say just getting those listings up. I'm actually shocked you have a draft bank that big, by the way, man, Jake. 240, that's a lot.
240, yeah.
Yeah, you go over that, they will automatically delete too, so be careful. I don't know if you
Ask
know
Kat
that.
how
That's
she
why I
knows.
stay at 240.
Yeah. So personally, when it comes to it's funny. I had this debate the other day about draft banks and stuff like that, where I always say if you're putting in the work, get those items up. It's good. I mean, I can see it in a small draft bank, but that's a big draft bank, man. We're doing 28 days, so you're set up for the next couple of weeks that that you wouldn't even have to do anything if you didn't want to.
No, I list on my anniversary, on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, if I break my leg.
Yeah.
Yesterday was my birthday, and I worked
video.
so much.
Yeah, I have a
So
30
much.
video TikTok draft bank too.
Yeah.
See, oh, I wish I had a video bank. I don't have a video bank.
Yeah,
I wish I had a video bank.
I did for a
Um,
little one for a couple
I
weeks, but
did. I don't anymore.
I think the most I've ever had was like 2 extra. That was it. Yeah, like never more. I agree with. I work like pretty much all the time. Yesterday was my birthday, and I was like doing way more than I normally do. So it is okay. And I like it. I love what I'm doing, so it's okay. We actually sold over $2,000 yesterday on my birthday. I was like, yay, happy birthday to me. Really good sales day on my birthday. But I agree with everybody. I don't think it matters when. My draft bank is now at 134, and I wish it was at 0. I really wish it was at 0. Because I am paying people to make the drafts. They are just faster. The 3 of them are faster than the 1 of me. And I cannot, like, I was sick for like a week and I got behind and had over 250 drafts and learned the hard way that eBay deletes them. And then I had to pay them again to list the same items because I lost my drafts. So I did not know that. Kevin wants to know how much we're sleeping. He's worried about our health.
I think it was worried about your health.
I actually sleep about 5.5 hours a day. Somewhere around there.
For me, it's like 5 to 7 hours.
I am 4 to 5 hours at most, sometimes 3.
Y'all are going to make me sound bad. So I was like 5 to 6. I was like, go, go, go. And lately I've really liked 7 to 8. I have really like 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
That's what they recommend.
So I've been sleeping more, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I like, before I was fine on 5 to 6. And now if I don't get like 7 to 8, I'm like bonkers. I want to hold on, Rod, and click back to that. Annie, I just want to clarify. I did not lose 200. What happened is when it got to 250, the first ones fell off. I think I lost about 20 before I realized what was going on. I was like, wait, where'd this thing go? I swear I saw it. And I then Googled to see how many drafts I was allowed, and it told me 250. And yeah, so I only lost about 20 before I realized it. All right, Annie wants to know if we're seeing an increase in sales of 1980s and 1990s items.
Yeah, so I pick up a little bit of everything. I run numbers on a lot of things, but I don't necessarily run numbers on century or decade items, I guess. But I don't know. I'm seeing sales across the board. I don't know if there's an uptick in 80s and 90s items or not.
I've actually, like, that's never been my thing. Usually I'm like 1970s and older, but I have noticed an uptick in 1980s and 1990s. So if something like, if I think it's cool, I will pick it up.
So I sell a lot of pop culture stuff and, stuff in movies, comic books. And I sell a lot of things from the 80s and 90s. 80s have always been hot. 90s have always been hot, but I would say I seen an uptake of late 90s and early 2000s because now early 2000s is now officially vintage all up to 2003, which now I feel really old just for saying that. But I would say, I'm starting to see an uptick with there because you have to remember when people, when you're growing up and, you're poor and you can't get those items, now those people in the late 90s, early 2000s are now in their 30s. They have money. They can spend it in, discretionary income, and they can buy the things that they want from their childhood. So you always see that 25-year swing pretty much with items. So, anything that's been like right now, I would say keep an eye on stuff from around like 2005-ish. That stuff going to start come back around, coming back in full circle. It does every year, the clockwork.
I haven't really noticed because, again, I buy estate lots, so I kind of buy what I can find good deals of. Right now, what's making the most money is designer boxes that are not vintage or old at all. That's what's making most of our money right now. And a lot of my linens are like 1960s, 1970s. We've been selling a ton of vintage linens, tablecloths, and things like that as well. And those are a little bit older. So when I think of 80s and 90s, like I would think like finding t-shirts, windbreakers, hoodies, stuff like that. And I don't find a lot. I wish I did, because like I'm a 90s kid as far as high school and all the stuff I had. So that is the stuff that I remember and I would know, but I don't find it. Jonathan, send me a $10 super chat for my birthday. Thank you. I appreciate you, my friend. So much. I'm going to give you a super chat. Jake is taking us on a field trip. I don't know where we are going.
Field trips.
Picking my doggy out.
Oh, the puppy. We're going to take the puppy out. All right, Jonathan, here is, I'm going to give you the whale. Here you go.
Man, I thought we were on episode of MTV Reselling Cribs. Walk through the house, showing off everything. This is my resale mid. This is my front door, my dog.
Miss Cindy says, I'm not very techie, but I would like to start dabbling in electronics somewhat. What would you recommend starting out, as I can't test computers or video games? Are there other electronics that you think would be easy to test?
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so the majority of my sales are AirPods, remote controls, and digital cameras. So digital, I started testing the first 200 remotes that I ever received. You just hold it up to your phone, and then you click a button, and if you see a little, if you want a more detailed video, you can type in Jride flips remotes, but you should see a little light turn on. That means that the remote works. I tested 200 of them and all 200 worked. So now I no longer test remotes. And I was just looking at my numbers the other day. I've sold 2,300 remotes and I've had 2 returns of the 2,300.
Nice.
So unless it's a Logitech that has like an actual screen, you need to do some further testing, things like that. But just good old like remotes like this, don't need to really test those too much. Digital cameras, a lot of times you will find, and remotes, you'll see that there's like corrosion. Yep. And so a lot of people will be like, oh, that's done. That's not going to work. You just take a little bit of white vinegar and you spray it on there. It has a chemical reaction. Then you take it off. So like people in my town, they always leave behind Guitar Hero guitars because it has corrosion. And it's like, sweet, easy, 30 to 80 bucks, depending on the model there. But I would really start with remote controls and digital cameras. And there's millions of hours of videos on how to test and even tinker with cameras on YouTube.
Nice.
Why did you put him in the hot seat? Like, I have to follow that up for real. Like, I want the hot seat back. I don't buy electronics. They scare me. So that's my answer.
So I do buy a lot of electronics. Just like Jake said, I was start small, stay away from like the receivers, stay away from like the 5-disc DVD players and CD players. Boombox is another good one too. Like Sony boomboxes, I do a lot of those.
You can jam out.
Yeah,
buy an old tape you like.
Just be careful with the tape decks because inside they do rot out, and a lot of times the tape decks won't work. But anything like the Sony boomboxes always do well. Make sure the antennas are on. That's what everyone always misses, the antennas on the back side of it. But when it comes to like video game stuff, you don't need to test the video games. The systems, yes, but the video games you don't. If it's a cartridge game, just take a little rubber alcohol with a Q-tip. You can actually clean the hole inside. Majority of the time, those things are built like a tank. They're going to work. And for when it comes to disc-based stuff, as long as it doesn't have scratches on stuff like that, I don't test on any of my games I sell. Only if I run my disc cleaner to actually clean them. If they're scratched up bad, I will test them. But I would say probably like 95% of the stuff I sell, I don't test out, and I have no issues with it. So, but it's just that's because I'm just comfortable over time with it. But also too, like you said, digital cameras are good, remotes are good, stuff that's small that you can just, not a lot of work into, because electronics, especially in the bigger electronics, it can be a hassle, especially if it's not working and you ship it out and then you just, don't go down that route yet until you get more comfortable with smaller stuff.
It's so funny. I used to sell so many remotes and I haven't picked up remotes. I haven't looked at them. I get bored really easy and move on to the next thing. And then it might cycle back to remotes, but I did used to sell a lot of remotes for like 15, 20 bucks that I got at the thrift store for $1. And I don't think I ever got a return on one either. And I don't really do much other electronics, so I think I don't have much to say.
I have one more thing to say.
Oh
First of
yeah,
all,
go ahead.
I think the remote thing is super, super cool. But also, as I'm going through applications, seller applications for knickknacks, it's really interesting to me because I'm looking through the applications, and of course, I'm going to these profile or these selling platforms and looking at feedback. And then a lot of the times, the person will sell similar stuff to me, like glass and pottery, and then they'll have a negative feedback, and I'm like, what's this negative feedback? And of course, it's something they sold that was electronic, and it was like, this didn't work, or that this had corrosion, or this was not tested. And I'm like, yeah, that's basically, that would happen to me. It's like I try to go outside my wheelhouse and I get burned. But maybe I'll start picking them up. I don't know.
Remotes are sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, they're so easy, and like I would just put them. Do you ship them in padded flat rates? Not padded flat rates, but padded polys, or do you put them in a box?
Yep.
The daisy polys. Oh, you can show them when we do our giveaway, because I have some up there. I was like, mine. Somebody used the one I always show that was on my desk. Patty wants to know if we're all still eating leftovers.
I eat leftovers all the time. We always cook too much and then eat leftovers. Not currently though.
I gave after like day 2 and then a little bit into day 3, I was over the leftovers. I'm like, I don't want any more leftovers.
We just finished our leftovers, I think, yesterday. Yeah,
So the bad thing about going to somebody else's house is you don't have any leftovers. I was so sad because like we ate really early on Thanksgiving and I didn't eat that much. And I was home at night and I'm like, man, I wish I got 0 leftover. So it was nice because like Brad cooked a ham and that was our contribution. Everybody kind of brings something. And I could have brought some home, but I was like so tired. I just went home, but I love turkey and like stuffing sandwiches because I'm weird like that. Because it's not enough carbs. I just need more carbs to put it on bread, right? So. I think we already covered that. Oh, Sam sent a super chat. Sam is Miss Jolie Flips. I went thrifting down in Miami with her, and then she met me at the Renninger's Antique Fair and went hanging out with me there too. So Sam is full-time right now. She's that could right now, but I know she is a full-time RN like I am. And she said it's hard to find time. She posts 25 items a day on eBay. Do you think it's enough or should she do more?
Yeah, so that's hard to answer that question without more details, but if you have a strong sell-through rate and you have a good ASP and you're comfortable with the amount of money you're making, then yeah, 25 is great. I currently am listing 20 a day. My average sales price is 48, and I look for items that have at least an 80% sell-through rate or above, and that works great for me according to my goals.
I bet your sell-through rate is beautiful. You want to know what mine is? Mine is 14%.
Ooh, for the
90 day.
Yeah.
It was 10. Yeah. Okay. We're making improvements. Thank you, boxes. We're at 14% now.
Nah, that's good. That's good. But yeah, it just, I like to work backwards. So like, let's say you want to make $10,000 a month. You just divide that by your average profit per sale. I have a video on this too. I'm a numbers guy. I really enjoy numbers. So if listing 25 per day is getting you similar results every day, and you're shooting for 1,000 a week, 1,000 a month, 1,000 a quarter, whatever your goal is, just have it match up with that. And yeah, 25 could be too low. It could be really high. 1,000 could be super low if you're only selling stamps that make you 6 cents each, you know?
Yeah, my answer would be as much as you can put into it. If you can handle 25 items a day and you don't think that you could handle more, then stick with 25. It's just all about whatever you can handle.
I think the more important question that you need to ask yourself is, are you happy and spend enough time with your family? That's the biggest thing, because if you're already working
to Boston on a whim and gets me a shirt that says "Wicked Smart," she goes places.
Yeah.
She goes
okay, well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that do work a full-time job that try to, eBay is like another full-time job for them. So it really comes down to, as long as you're happy and you have enough time to spend with you and your family and you're happy with everything, and it's good. I would say the biggest thing is not so much listing per day. Like Jake was saying, there's about the amount of money that you want to make, So if you're listing, a lot of items at $10 a piece and you need to make $250 a day, well, then you're right there, But if you're listing items at $25 and you need to list 10 items a day. So it just really comes down to how much money you're trying to have, that sales price per day.
She sells like gorgeous glass like Jocelyn. She's in South Florida and finds like amazing thing. She's like, oh, I picked up this uranium for one. It sold for $250 for 3 pieces. I'm like, when we were shopping, I'm like, whoa. She's super picky. So it was really interesting to go with her. Jocelyn's picky. I'm like, I fill the friggin' basket no matter where I go. Like, I can't be picky. I can't. And I go with Sam and my cart is mounted and she has 2 things. And I'm like, oh, cat? I overindulge, I guess. I cannot not fill a cart. If I don't fill a cart, something's wrong. I would say Sam, and I know she likes her job. So there is a difference between me and her. She likes her nursing job. I would say, since you're not planning on quitting your job that I'm aware of, do whatever, like that might be too much if you're planning on staying at your job and you're just using it for supplemental, go to Boston for a random weekend vacation money. And your sales average, I feel like, is probably higher than mine. So I think 25 is plenty enough in your case. She's lucky. She works Monday through Friday. She doesn't have the 12. She has like 6 hours nursing schedule. So it makes it a little bit easier and she's off on the weekends. But if you're like I was, where you're wanting to aim towards full time, I'm with Jake. So I say list the amount you want to sell every day. If you want to sell 500 a day, which for me would be like 250 in profit typically, then I need to list 500 a day, whether that's 2 listings, 10 listings, 20 listings. You need to list how much ever you want to make per day. I think that's a really good thing. But Jake had a good point. Make sure it's profit. Know what profit you want to make from that, not just how much you sell. Like I know about 50% of mine's gone to labor, cost, and fees and shipping supplies and all of that stuff. All right, I'm going to give Sam a dolphin. I don't know which one. The original. Here you go. Super chat. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Becky said, I get good glass brands like Fenton. Look at all of her glass in her picture. I get good glass brands like Fenton that arrives broken. Do you guys know of anyone that uses the glass for like recycling for art purposes that would want her glass that has arrived broken? That's a good, we've never gotten a question like that.
I'm sure there's some sort of Facebook page. There's Facebook groups for everything. Yeah, there's got to be.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really sad though that it arrives broken. That's like, that hurts. Ow.
I would say check crafting groups and stuff like that. There's tons of you'll find the weirdest stuff. Like I always sell like spilled and ripped comic books for crafting purposes because people cut them out and do stuff. Louis Vuitton, like the designer boxes, they have like straps, so people take the straps off and use those for crafting.
The ribbon,
ribbons, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm sure there's something I would go in a different crafting group and ask, and they'll be able to let you know.
Yeah, because they could probably use them for the cool, like almost like they do the tile. I feel like they could use the glass the same way. They inlay the broken tile for the micro mosaic, not micro, regular mosaic. But I bet you could find somebody. This question has come up, I feel like, for years, but I will pop it up here and let us all answer it. Do you think eBay will be phased out?
Absolutely not. No, yeah. eBay will always be around. The only thing I could ever see possibly happening is Facebook decides they want to be an all-out platform, and then they buy out eBay because they've got billions and billions of dollars. But then eBay would still keep its name, and it would just be under the parent company Meta. But no, yeah, eBay is here to stay.
I don't think it would necessarily be phased out, but I think they really need to get with the times. I think they've fallen behind a little bit. You know, live selling is the new big thing, and they have live selling, but only a few people are doing it, and they're just dragging their feet, and they're not really getting with it. So I don't think they'll be phased out. I just think they're late to the party.
I think a big reason for that is that a lot of their websites are very antiquated, and a lot of the stuff they do, you have to remember too, when you have 140 million users on that platform compared to, you know, a smaller platform that may have 10 million users. You know, eBay, it takes, anytime they have to make a change, it does take a longer process, so they are falling behind. Also too, though, is I really think they're stuck in their ways when it comes to a lot of different things, and like she just mentioned about, you know, live selling. They have had live selling up for now, what, 2 years now, a year and a half, and it is not rolled out to the general public. Do you know how much eBay could be crushing it right now over Whatnot and all these other platforms? If you could take stuff from your eBay store and move it right over to be a live selling platform, I mean, it would be a game changer. And I've been waiting for that for the longest time, you know, and they're losing market share. And if you look, they have actually have less buyers in the past couple of years than they had, or I'm sorry, less sellers, because they're moving to other platforms too. So it is, I mean, I don't think eBay is not going anywhere. The 800-pound gorilla in the room, they're one of the originals. They're always going to be there. They're just going to lose market share over time. And as these other new platforms keep popping up, it gives sellers like all of us opportunity to branch out. And, you know, grass isn't always greener on their side, but at the same point in time is, you know, gives us a chance to diversify and really find different ways to move product.
Yeah, I don't think it will be phased out. I agree with what everybody said. Our sales are going up. I've heard this over the years, probably once or twice a year. Everybody's like, eBay's gonna go away, or it's gonna, like, you're never gonna sell anything again. And here we are selling six figures over and over and over. It is not going away. Our sales are increased. The only time they decreased is when my effort into eBay decreased because I was concentrating more on Whatnot. So that's, I think, one of the big things, like with it, you know, everything changing, is make sure you don't have all your eggs in one basket, or at least know what you would do. Like if your eBay sales do drop, and it doesn't have to be live, because not everybody likes going live, but like there are different platforms out here now, and I would have a presence on them, because eBay has been known to wrongfully suspend accounts for a few days. And if you're depending on that income, like as a sole income, you're going to be in trouble if that happens to you. And it might not be fair. It's not always fair. So that's why I say I recommend having streams of income from a lot of different places. If you're doing this full time, you need to have a bunch of different things going on, because anyone can fall at any time. Oh, Marsha's putting in knickknacks. If you guys haven't joined, thank you, Marsha. Marsha's putting a link. So if you guys haven't joined, I think that we have over 8,000 now, right? I think
It's 9,200 when I checked earlier today.
I think I just looked yesterday. Did it go up that much? I swear I looked yesterday.
Yeah, it's going up pretty fast. It's really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Miss Eileen said, listen, this is funny, and I'll tell you why when it gets to me. Why the heck would the post office send my item to Cali? I'm on the East Coast, and it was going to Florida. No answer since the 15th.
I've been actually getting this experience a few times. So I'll send something out USPS, and then I'll get a message saying your item has been rerouted via UPS. So then all of a sudden they slap a UPS sticker on it, and then it goes all the way the opposite direction of the country, and then it starts going back to the original direction that it was going. That's happened probably 3 times out of the last 400 or 500 items that I've sold, and all 3 of those customers messaged me very upset, and I just told them, hey, unfortunately there's nothing I can do. But I'm just giving you the information that I have. It's been really weird. It's happened several times now.
I mean, I cannot explain the United States Postal Service and why they do the things that they do.
So
I wish we could.
Myself.
Yeah, so it's happened to me multiple times over the years. And what happens is they put it on their own truck, That's usually most of the case. So when they go to scan it, because what they do is they take it to a shipping hub and they have multiple planes there, and they put it on the wrong truck by accident, the wrong plane, and it goes to the wrong part. I've had
Go to
packages.
the West Coast.
I had a package that's supposed to go to South Carolina, and it ended up in Denver, and then went from Denver to Dallas, and Dallas to Georgia before it got there. So like, it's just part of the process. Unfortunately, it's nothing you can do to explain to the customers that we're all human. People make mistakes. They're not going to be happy with it, but the postal service has misrouted your package, and it's on its way back. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this has been happening a lot to me, especially with my Whatnot sales. They're taking forever to get there with Ground Advantage. And I have one that's in Cali, and it's supposed to go, I think, to Colorado. It went like whoop, right past. And I will tell you guys, I actually stopped using UPS SurePost, which is through USPS, because they don't scan. So my items through UPS SurePost, which is mostly Mercari items, have been not scan. Like, we scan them, we see them scan them. It does not show, and I don't get a scan till it's delivered, which might be 5 or 6 days later. So like, Mercari's sitting here yelling at me that I didn't ship it, and I'm like, no, I did ship it. Like, I watched them scan it. So it sucks because UPS SurePost is like $8, and to go to Ground Advantage, it's $11. So it's like $3 to $4 difference. But I have started, like, on my newer listings, I'm not using SurePost, and I had something lost to me, actually over $2,000 worth of jewelry sent to me from a New Mexico estate, UPS SurePost. I asked him how he sent it, and he told me, and I like cringed inside. And he's gonna have to end up refunding me. It never got scanned.
So, Kat, there's actually in Mercari, if you go down the very bottom, so when you use SurePost, there's actually 2 different trackings, one for UPS and one for United States Postal Service.
So our UPS store won't take it. So we scan the USPS tracking.
Yeah, but you have to click on the UPS link at the bottom, and then it pops up in a separate window, and then it will show you the actual. I just did it today because I came back home and I looked at it.
So it shows nothing on Mercari, but if you click it, it'll show you?
Because the Mercari is going to be the final delivery, which is the United States Postal Service. So you actually have to click on the UPS link at the very bottom, which is a separate tab, and you click on that, and it pops up, and then you can actually see that the item was actually scanned at the UPS store.
So my UPS store won't take them. They said bring it to the post office. No.
Oh, really?
They will not take it. Wrong. And then, like I said, that one with him, it's been 3 weeks, and I didn't get my jewelry. I need to contact him again, because I assume he can, with his business account, get credit for it. I hope he insured it. But I bought from another estate from him the week later, and I got that stuff, and I'm like, I just got the second stuff, but I never got the first. And he sent me the tracking, and it never was scanned. And I believe he brought it there, because that same thing has happened to me. I might ask him, though, if he has that other number, though, Rod. Maybe if he has the other number, I can figure it out. I hope. Ricochet said, when you end and sell similar, should you relist it immediately, or do you think you should wait?
So I'm going to double down on, if you have items with extremely fast sell-through rates, this isn't the thing that you need to do anyway. But
he's going to pound this into your head tonight.
But for those items that are longer tail, I haven't noticed any evidence supporting that items actually do sell faster when I delist, relist, when I end items sell similar, or when I just do a markdown of 20%, or if I update a photo or a title or anything like that. I'm just convinced that if you have the best photos, the best title, the best price, the best return policy, and the best item, you will get sales. That's my thought on it.
All right. He said it all.
So I'm going to disagree with you on there. If when your items are up there, and if after 90 days per eBay's employees, they do fall off when they fall off being put in like searches and stuff like that. So by ending your item, it will actually put it back in the search after 90 days, and we'll put it back up. So I've had a lot of success with that, especially because I used to keep my items in my store for 6 months to a year, and once I started reducing it down, but yeah, I mean that's when I was at the one of the reselling conference. We talked to one of the eBay representatives, and they said yes, after 90 days it does fall off. So it's better to end it and get your item back up there. But I'm also adjusting something too, so it could be adding that in there. I'm actually lowering the price too when I do adjust it, when I do relist it. So that also could be adding another factor to it. It's just a cheaper, maybe a better deal. Markets do change, but I think personally it does help me. But it's just Kat, what about you?
I haven't been ending and selling similar as often as I was when I didn't have time to list. Now that I have employees listing, I very rarely remember to end and sell similar, so they just sit there. But when I do it immediately, because otherwise I'll forget. And then I'll have like 200 items not relisted. So I just immediately put them back up.
Yeah, I do the same.
I don't know who else sells on Mercari, but Chance said, what is the benefit to using Mercari label versus using pirate ship and being able to alter the weight? So if you do sell on Mercari, why use the Mercari label? Jake says no. Jocelyn, you're not on Mercari, right? Okay, Rod.
Not after your whole kerfuffle.
I'm on Mercari because it saves me a step.
I'm back. I'm back.
I know you are, but not for me.
So for me, it just saves me a step. I mean, sometimes the buyer does have to pay a little bit more because the shipping is going to be a little bit higher because of how Mercari set up for shipping rates, but it just saves me time. That's the benefit for me. Instead of me taking that, going to the pirate ship, going through all the extra steps of shipping it, if you have multiple orders, that adds up, and that will take away from your time for your business. So it's just easier to process it in Mercari and move on.
My reason is the exact same as Rod's. It saves time. I just print the label from Mercari. I don't have to copy over the shipping address. I did today. My mom, and I was like, Mom, is there another glitch? I sold a Barbie car, a 1980s. I should have thought about that. A 1980s Barbie car, a pink dune buggy. And I went on Mercari and I'm like, where is my label? There was no label because my mom put free shipping. And I'm like, oh. And so I'm like, Mom, because last year around this time, and I think it was a Mercari glitch, my mom had free shipping on everything.
So
there was free shipping on everything.
Yeah, I had ran into that. I had talked about a video on my flipping channel the other day where I was like, I went to my store and I had like 30 items at free shipping. I guess all these people are commenting saying that there was a glitch in Mercari at one point where everything was, your listing up was doing free shipping at one point. So
yeah, so Mom went back and checked the last 200 and didn't see any. Yeah. But that was a pain to have to copy it, go to pirate ship versus just printing a label. And so that's why I do it. I don't think you would lose seller protection as long as you upload the tracking number. I think you would still be good.
Yeah.
Nikki wants to know, she found a PS1 and PS2. Do you think it would be smart to bundle the two consoles together with all the games, or are they better sold separately for the best profit?
Okay. So I sell some consoles. I sell some video games. The cool thing about consoles is they just already have an extremely fast sell-through rate anyway. So if you want an even faster sell-through rate, you can couple them with a controller and a few games, and definitely make sure you have the cords. Or you can do what I do, and I actually sometimes I'll even take out hard drives. Sell those separately. I'll sell the shell of the PS1. I'll sell all the different parts, all the controllers. And those sell just as fast, and you can maximize a little bit more profit, but it's a little more work. I think the best way to sell consoles is you want to capture everyone that's possibly looking for them, which would include, moms and dads trying to buy them for Christmas, gamers that just want the console. So I would always include a controller and a couple games and all the necessary cables if you want the fastest sell with one of the higher profit margins available.
So I've been selling video games for 20 plus years on eBay, and that's something I was strictly just a video game seller there for a while. I would say it's smart to, especially this time of year, people are looking for bundles. So that, yes, he's right on that one. But I would say it comes down to the games you have. If your games are higher value, you want to a la carte that. You want to put those separate and do that. I use what they call shovelware. It's, those games are like $5, $3, your sports games, the games that people always pass up and stuff like that. I pick them up all the time at garage sales for $1, even the sports games. And people are like, why are you buying those at value? Because I bundle those with systems. So let me tell you, putting a football game, a baseball game, the kid that likes to just play those games, it doesn't matter if that game is 5-6 years old, but you add that basketball, football, baseball game with a bundle, the same price that people are just selling the system by itself, that gives you an extra advantage for those parents, because those parents don't know. They think they're saving money on it, which they are, buying those extra games. So it's more appealing to people. So anything that you can do to be more competitive in the market and add additional value to your customer is going to be great. So I would highly recommend bundle your games that aren't worth selling individually with your consoles. Just, it doesn't be a lot, maybe 2 games, 1 game, 3 games, but it will add extra value and they will sell faster.
I don't do them, so I think the guys answered that one good. Annie, a question for you, for Jake, and then I'm going to give away 2 packs of poly mailers, and I think that's it for tonight. Annie wants to know, Jake, do you have an engineering gift?
I'm not sure if I completely understand the question. Like
I'm
engineering.
thinking like numbers and like
So
technical aspects.
I do
That's
love
what
numbers.
I think of when I hear that.
So when I play video games with my brother, it's very irritating to him because he loves actually playing the video game and the emotions behind it. And I am just kind of seeing, okay, this sword unlocks this, that gives me a 15% boost in this stab. It reduces this one by 7, but it's going to make me faster if I use these boots, kind of thing like that. So I do just really, really enjoy numbers. I don't have any sort of like degree or have studied gears or engineering or anything like that, but I do love numbers. I'm constantly checking numbers on my Poshmark and my eBay and my YouTube and my TikTok and all that stuff.
You're very analytical, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. Same as me.
Really,
I'm not. I should be more.
not either.
I'm just like, I'm going to go and do what I'm doing.
It's really fascinating to me because it's all like
the best businesses have the numbers guy, and that my friend always says each business needs a hipster, a hustler, and a hacker. So you need those 3.
I love.
I guess I'm like the hip. No, I'm the hustler. I would definitely be the hustler.
Yeah. Although it sounds
right,
like
guys.
you're the hustler and the numbers guy.
He's the hustler and the hacker.
The hacker. Yeah, the hacker.
All right, let's do this. Did anybody cheat? Somebody cheated.
Kat, I have this same sponsor. How do you pronounce this company?
Gyro Pack. I don't know if I'm saying it right. They've never told me I'm saying it wrong.
Bearded Thrift Machine says it a little different. My Boring Reseller says it a little different. I say it a little different. Taylor Exchange does it. It's funny.
I don't think they care as long as we're talking about them.
Exactly.
As long as you can spell it. Oh, here, hold on. I have mine. Jake has his too. So we have our Gazy polys, but you can pick any poly you want. They will give you a free pack of padded, non-padded, whatever you guys want. We're going to draw 2 winners. I haven't messaged Joel. I need more tape numbers to give away more tape. So I will message Joel. I know he's doing like a 5 days of Christmas something right now. Oh, and my reseller genie, guys. Marsha, will you put in my reseller genie? I think it's still good. I was bad. I didn't use it on Black Friday. It might end today or tomorrow. Catherine, you type in hashtag GROPack. You guys on Facebook can enter as well. It pulls from Facebook and from YouTube. So Facebook people, you can enter hashtag GROPack. And you'll be able, what you'll do is go to their website and pick what you want. And then email me with your choice and your mailing address, and they will ship it out to you. And we'll pick 2 winners. Last week, you guys, I've been a little too predictable doing it at 9, and people were jumping the gun and already putting the hashtag before I even started the drawing. And then it doesn't work because I haven't started the drawing. So that's last week I started seeing it at 9. I was a little late, and I was like, oh, you suckers. They're like, I've been too predictable. Maybe I should do it at a different time every week or something. Everybody's like, oh, giveaway time. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and draw 2. We almost have 140 entries. Dun, da, da, da. Let's see. Red. right, let's pick another winner. Marsha, will you put my email in there for her, please? Thank you. I appreciate you. 145 entries. Who's gonna win? Becky's Vintage and More. Hey, that's who
the
I'm
broken
supposed to
glass.
glass. Yay! Your broken glass got you good luck. Look at all her pretty glass. She's got so much pretty glass. Congratulations. So Marsha will put it in there how to get it. Rod's going to think I'm crazy because I drew that really fast. And then Jake's going to run away and it'll be me and Jocelyn.
Okay.
Inked Picker wants to know, what was your best sale? The puppy is back.
The puppy's back.
What was your best sale over Black Friday weekend?
Let's see. I actually sold. Dude, this is a great podcast. I've actually sold 4 just during this live show, so that's great.
See, we gave you good luck. So
Yeah,
you
this
have
is
to come here every week.
I sold a Canon Canovision 8mm video cassette recorder, the ES100. It sold internationally for $400.
Nice.
I sold a Lundberg vase on Whatnot on Black Friday for I think $795.
Does yesterday count? Because I sold a vintage Tiffany letter holder for $762 yesterday on my birthday.
I think that counts.
That was
Exactly.
that was my highest one in a while. And the rest were not like any big ones. Rod, what was your biggest sale on Black Friday?
Black Friday weekend. I had a couple big sales. I just sold a. What is it? It's called. Is it Gorham? The silverware. I had
Gorham Sterling.
Yeah, I had a whole brand new box set of that. That sold for like $300, and then I just sold.
If it was sterling or was it plated? I hope it was plated, because if it was sterling, that's
plated,
not
I think. Yeah, it was like frosted plated.
I'm like, wait.
No, it was frosted plated. Or sterling plated, I think. I don't know, I gotta pull it.
MTV Cribs.
MTV Cribs. Here we go.
Dude, I left the back door open and I can feel the cold coming in. That's my
We're
Christmas
supposed to
tree.
get a
That's my
tour.
TV.
Oh, yeah, we should get a tour. Yeah, there's the Christmas tree.
That's the Trash to Cash podcast. We're doing a Christmas puzzle.
Oh, fun.
Jake, what kind of dog do you have?
Dude, she's everything.
Everything?
I think she's mostly collie, and then the second biggest is probably German Shepherd, but she's like 40 pounds.
Yeah, she looks like.
Oh, did you guys see they have like the gene thing for dogs now? You can test the dogs to see their exact makeup now.
I got that from my wife for Christmas. Don't tell her.
I hope she's not watching you.
My wife's been dying to do that because we have 2 rescues, and she's like, I gotta figure out what they are. They're pets, but like she's like, I know it's mixed with something. So
yeah, that would be cool.
How much was it, Jake?
Rod, did you answer?
Yeah.
Oh, the Gorham. You did answer. What?
They have a ton of different ones. There's one for like $35. There's some for as expensive as $400.
Wow.
The one I got was $160.
I think that's one
trustworthy enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go middle of the road, not too cheap. And not. Rosie says, I started a new full-time job, but I would like to continue building my reselling business. What are your suggestions on continuing to grow while working full-time?
Yeah, there's a ton of different ways you can do this, ton of different tips. That's awesome. We have a panel of 4. I really recommend just trying to find, and I know this is easier said than done, but find really fast sell-through rate small items. Whether that's, we've talked about remotes and cameras, but like you can find some fast sell-through rate basketball cards, comic books. There's a ton of really small things. A lot of people say, hey, how can I get started? I'm just in a small apartment. And I say, you can fit 5,000 basketball cards in a drawer. You can fit 100 clothing articles in a closet. You can fit 3,000 video games underneath the bed. Like I would just find as fast of sell-through rate item as you can and as small of an item as you can.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. I think that's a great answer. I mean, it's been a really long time since I've worked full time while trying to resell at the same time. So that's kind of a hard question for me to answer. But I think that was the perfect answer. I love the idea of small items, taking up small space, and yeah, quick items, quick sells.
So for me, I was in that same position there not too long ago. But I mean, I pretty much worked a full-time job and was full-time in eBay for many, many years. I was just always couldn't leave my job just for the security and the benefits and everything else. But I would say for me is, finding time when I was working to work. So I quit quietly, as they would call it, where I would take tons of photos on. I spent one night just taking like 50 photos on my phone, and while I'm working, I would, in between calls, coffee breaks, lunch break, I'd be listing stuff on eBay to keep the train moving. Also too, I did invest in getting a small little storage unit just to the fact that I can, get more and more merchandise, but it was be out of the hair of my wife and the family, because at the point in time we had a smaller house. And so I did that. So I was able to buy, be able to make bigger purchases and still be able to, grow my business at the same time.
So I would say, because I work full time while building this for about 1.5 to 2 years, and I would say it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to grow it so you can leave the full-time job, that is when I was getting 4 and 5 hours of sleep, because it depends on how bad you want it.
Yeah.
What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And I was always, like Rod said, like if I was at a red light, if I was on break, if I was at the doctor's office, anywhere I was at, I had pictures on my phone, I was listing. I would come home from a 15-hour day of nursing on my feet, and I would list items. I wanted to get to full time to do what I'm doing. So I think your drive and how much you want to do, you put as much as you can into it. If your goal is to go to full-time reselling, and it's going to be like you have 2 full-time jobs, you're going to be working 80 hours a week. And how bad do you want it? That's what I would say, is how bad do you want it? And you got to put the time in. And then once it's up, you can get a little more breaks. I feel like occasionally, if you've built it up to a good place, then you can take a break and take a weekend or do whatever. But while you're building it up, there's not much leeway if you want to keep seeing it grow. My advice would be to keep your numbers growing is to list. If your goal to list is 5 a day or 10 a day, list 5 or 10 plus whatever sold. So if you sold 10 items, you list 20. So now you've got 10 more in your store. If you sold 5, you list 15. Just always list more than you're selling if you're trying to get that inventory number up. I did not are you throwing your hands up? Because I just saw the super chats. Listen here. Miss Barbara sent $5. It wasn't Miss Barbara. It was this chitter chatter box here, Mark. I saw this emoji. I'm assuming that's what he means. He sent his late fee, so he's late and now he's being demanding, I feel like, maybe, but I still love him. It's okay. Miss Barbara sent $5. So Miss Barbara likes the pillow fight. I'm going to give it, and that's what you're getting too, Mark. Here we go. I have to say, Dalton was very upset with me tonight because last week he was out for Thanksgiving break and he got to come out here and he was on the show with me, and he was so mad that he could not come out because it's a school night. He was very, very, he didn't even want to give me a kiss. He did the no. And he actually, the funny thing is he wants to come out here so bad, and that we have taught him. He calls it my Taco Tuesday show. That's how he remembers my show is on Tuesdays. So it's my Taco Tuesday show is what Dalton calls it. Miss Joanne wants to know, Jake, are the remotes you're selling used or new, or do you do both? It looks like most of them are used, right?
Yeah, 99% are used. Every once in a while you'll find a new one. But
There's another remote. Look, remotes are popular.
Mm-hmm.
Do certain remotes do better than others?
Yeah, so I actually typed that in the chat. I pass on about 85, but it's actually probably closer to 90 I pass on. So if you put 100 remotes in front of me over the next several days, I'll probably only pick up 8, 9, or 10 of them to sell on eBay. And yeah, I mean, Logitech, Bose, Denon, Onkyo, ton of awesome brands out there. But there's Sony remotes that sell for $3 free shipping, and there's Sony remotes that sell for $89 plus shipping. So you have to look up every single model number, and you'll be surprised. Like, you'll think, oh, this remote's definitely gonna be worth at least $20, and it's worth $4.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, dude, this remote's only gonna be worth $4, and it's worth $100. I sold a really obscure JVC remote for $140 because it was super hard to come by for some reason.
That remote better go in a box. Does it go in a box?
The 140 one?
Yeah.
No, it just goes in 3 feet of bubble wrap and polymailing.
Man, so I train my, like, we ship by price. So like price depend. If I have anything over 50, I put it in a box. That's just like my personal thing. If it's over 50, it goes in a box. I don't care if it's a piece of paper. I'm gonna put it in a box. That is just except for license plates. Those still go in their little envelopes because good luck messing up a license plate. All right, let's see. Patricia wants to know, does everyone know there's a hide tab under purchases on eBay? Her brother had his account hacked and they hid things they bought and scammed him out of over $7,000. I did not. Did anybody else on here know that?
Hide tab under purchases? No, I've never heard of that.
That would be good for sneaking presents for people, but apparently not good if somebody's using your account. Interesting.
That might be what it's for, because people might share accounts.
Yeah.
Hide tab. I'm not familiar with that either.
Yeah, I have never heard of that. So I guess just be aware of that. Yeah, for sure. Laura wants to know, what are these boxes I'm selling? So the boxes I'm selling, I will give credit to 100 boxes that were sitting there and he didn't want them to take space. So Rod asked me if I wanted to buy the 100 boxes from Rod. And I did. And if you guys don't know, Rod and I live about 2 hours apart. So we met in the middle and I bought the boxes, and about a week later, it was pretty fast, wasn't it, Rod? Like
What's
a week
up?
later? Huh?
What? You're breaking up. What do you mean a week later?
That the guy contacted me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was pretty quick.
So yeah, Rod, I bought the boxes from Rod. I got them listed really fast. And then I got a message saying, hey, I see you're in Florida. Would you like to buy some boxes? I see you sell boxes. And I'm like, sure. And it turned out to be over 2,000 designer boxes, a lot of them worth $100+ each. And it was a 24-foot U-Haul box truck filled from floor to ceiling of designer boxes.
And
well
just to clarify,
over
these are empty boxes.
Empty boxes.
People know.
Well over $1 million in inventory in these boxes.
Well,
not
that you
when I got them
Yeah.
originally.
Yeah.
A Tiffany necklace, sterling necklace, and an Hermes blanket, and I did return both of them because our deal was not for merchandise. It was for empty boxes, so I sent them their stuff back. But we have sold, I would say, $15,000 in boxes over the last 6 weeks.
And so just so you guys know, a lot of places like consignment shops will buy those to complete those so that they can resell the purses, resell the jewelry and other items. So that's where a lot of your boxes are going. If people are just wondering what they were doing with them. Or also too for presents too. People buy them, they buy them a used purse and they want the box for present time.
Yeah, so we shipped out $800 in boxes to one buyer today, and she owns an upscale boutique in New Jersey. And she actually messaged me on Instagram, which I loved because it was a direct sale. So I actually saw her Instagram profile, all her lovely Hermes purses, and her boutique shop, an actual store in New Jersey, and she bought $800 worth of boxes for her boutique. And it's kind of interesting. I told Rod about this because he's been buying boxes like I have, and I asked her, like, our Louis Vuitton boxes are selling slower than the Hermes, the Chanel, and I'm like, why? And she said for them being the upscale purse sellers, a $1,400 purse is not really. Look, Rod is demonstrating the Louis Vuitton boxes. They're selling slow. And it's because a $1,400 box for them is not worth them buying $100 box, but a $10,000 to $20,000 Hermes purse is worth them buying $100 purse. So like all of my Hermes purse boxes are gone, all of my Chanel boxes are gone, but the Louis Vuitton sit here. So I'm probably going to mark those down, but now I know why. So she's like, look, for $1,400, I'm not worried about completing the package because it's a it's so crazy to hear it's just a $1,400 purse. It's not a $10,000 Hermes. But that's the people that are buying my boxes. I delivered to upscale purse seller down in Miami as well, authenticated on eBay. Everybody keeps telling me I'm selling to the fakes. Guys, not everybody is bad. The ones that have bought the most for me have been
Designers,
authenticated real purse sellers.
Yeah.
Also, too, guys, if you guys do come across any empty boxes, one thing you guys want to look out for is these magnetic strips inside of them right here. When you go to close, they automatically shut. They won't come apart. But that's where all your purse boxes are, for the magnetic inside.
And those
So
are typically worth more if they
these
have
are
that.
premium compared to regular designer boxes.
So do I know how the seller came to have all the boxes? It actually was the buyer that I bought the boxes from. She is quite wealthy, and she went shopping and bought over $1 million worth of stuff, and I got her boxes. And I saw her warehouse, and I saw her stuff, and I know who she is. I am not going to share it for privacy reasons, but she is doing very well and bought $1 million worth of stuff. And
yeah, and my box person, they own probably a dozen medical facilities. So they go through a lot of items and a lot of clothing, and then every couple months I get a call and I come pick up all the boxes.
yeah, one family Rod's getting them from, a doctor that owns medical facility. We're getting them from the shoppers that don't want the boxes. They just want the stuff, and we're getting the boxes. All right. For a clothing show on Whatnot, so if you sold clothing on Whatnot, would you take an extra time washing and getting out wrinkles of clothes if you were starting them at $1? And if it's a mix of clothes, what category is best?
Yeah, so if I was a used car salesman, I would wash all my cars before I put them on the lot. If I was trying to mow lawns, I would make sure that all the lawns that I used for my advertisements were mowed. So if I was trying to sell anything, I would try to present it in the best way possible with regards to ROI. Now, sometimes people go way too overboard, and they spend hours and hours and hours a day steaming and pressing and doing all their clothes, and they go a little too overboard. But I would find just a really good medium of making sure that your clothes are in an excellent presentable condition, and then sell accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, same here. I try to wash all my glass. I try to get the sticky residue off. Anything that I'm selling, I just try to present it the best way possible. And I think the same would go for clothes. It's part of the reason I don't sell clothes is because that's a lot of effort.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The better presentation you get the item, the more money you're probably going to end up making at the end of the day. But also, too, time is money. So if a shirt has a little wrinkle in it, it's not going to make a big difference. I just let it go. But if the thing looks like it's crumbling a ball and sat in the back of your car for 3 months, yeah, I'm going to take care of that to make sure it presents better. I would also say too, I don't know your situation and whatnot, but be careful if you're a newer seller selling at $1. Starting items off at $1 for auctions, because if you don't have the crowd or the following day that's going to purchase something, I mean, you are going to probably be losing money based off the this thing plus your merchandise costs, and if that doesn't sell, so just be very careful with that start price, especially if you're new to it.
Yeah, so you guys are gonna know my answer if you know me. I guess I'm the bad car salesman that probably isn't washing the cars. I would make sure they're clean. I want to clarify. I would not sell dirty clothes. I would, if I was selling them for $1, sell wrinkled clothes. But I would hold them up and shake them out, and then maybe you wouldn't see the wrinkles as bad, especially if I was selling them for $1. Now, I personally would not sell clothing on Whatnot. And the reason I say that is because not only do you need a person to like the shirt, you need a person to like the shirt that wears the size that you are selling. So I personally don't think clothing would be a good unless you did like an all plus size sale, where plus size ladies or men would come. I think if you mixed, sizes, it would be very hard to get buyers. Yeah, I mean, I would shake it out. I wouldn't sell it dirty, but I wouldn't iron it. Now, if it was $100 jacket, yeah, I would iron it. That goes to the time equals money thing, for me, and valuing your time, and I agree. Don't start stuff at $1 because you'll make like 40 something cents, and the poly mailer probably costs 50. So you just lost 4 cents. So be very, very careful of that. Question for Jocelyn. Are you accepting? I don't know if you saw this one in the chat. This is Miss Rachel Deja Vu. She wants to know if you are accepting sellers from Canada for knickknacks.
Yes, actually, one of our top sellers on the platform is from Canada. We have several sellers from Canada, so we are accepting sellers from Canada.
I know you answered her in the chat, but I'm going to make you answer it for everybody. Where is your clutter, Jake? They want to know, where is the clutter?
Yeah, so I'll just give the same answer that I gave in the chat. Oh, wow, my dog just had a yawn.
Your dog has input on where the stuff is. I think he's trying to tell.
I think so. Yeah, so my wife is a D1 athlete, type A personality. Some would also say that I'm kind of a type A personality, and so we run sort of a tighter ship. I'm definitely a lot clutterier. So like my eBay office, she says she just doesn't come back here because it's not as pristine as the rest of the house. But yeah, we my wife makes sure that I always told her I'd buy her a house if she gives me a home. So that's what we're always trying to do.
The dog has input on that. Did you say clutterier? Is that what I heard? Clutterier.
Clutter. Yeah.
New word. Clutterier.
I'm from Utah. We make up a lot of stuff. Like
I make up words too. It's okay.
Carrie. He always says like I went across America for his, and people always make fun of him. I say that too. I say across. Like I went across.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Across town.
Across.
Judy wants to know, and I don't know if I think we should answer for both. For buying or selling, do you prefer auction or buy it now? So if you're buying or if you're selling, I think we should answer both.
My first year of eBay reselling, I did $711 through auctions, and I haven't done a penny since. So I do every single one of my listings at Buy It Now with best offer. And then buying items, if I want something, I just buy it. So I don't wait 4 days to get it 20% off. I just buy it. So I use Buy It Now on both.
For me, I like to buy it now. I don't like to wait. But if I'm selling stuff, I usually do auction. I've really been enjoying the live auction format, so that's just kind of been working for me. But some of the higher dollar items that aren't quick, I will list those as Buy It Now. I just kind of take it on a case by case basis. I think I probably should hop off of here though. cat.
Okay, she's gonna thank you for coming on. Jocelyn is tired.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not really
Jocelyn-
feeling the greatest, and I can feel myself fading, and I'm like, I'm
I
gonna
hear
try
your
to
voice.
hang on
I hear
here.
your voice. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Sorry,
I
I
will
couldn't
talk to
last
you
longer.
soon.
I really appreciate you having me
Jocelyn,
on.
anything you want to promote before
Lasted
you
a
leave?
long time.
Oh,
Final words or anything you want to promote?
yeah, come over and check out my YouTube channel, Crazy Lamp Lady, and also Knickknacks, which we just launched the other day, which is really exciting. Kat is on there, and it's just growing really fast, and it's been a really exciting adventure just since the beginning of the month. And yeah, I think that's really it.
Yeah, my first sale, I was totally happy with it. And I like it. And I might do some live sales on there because on there, I didn't feel pressured to like run so many like I do on Whatnot, just because I've gotten in the habit of it. So like I did my Native American stuff, which I don't really do that much of over on Whatnot. So for me, it was like a completely different, it's stuff that I love and I sell, but I haven't brought to the live selling platform, and I was really happy with how it went.
It's definitely a different vibe, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's cool. But anyway, it was nice meeting you guys.
I feel better
hanging out with you. But yes,
Thank
I
you.
will see you later. Thanks for having me on.
Right.
Yes, you are welcome. Go.
I don't know how to. Oh, okay. Now I found the button. Okay,
Just
bye.
close us. Just
Close
X
out.
us
There you
out.
go. All right.
There you go.
Back to the
tired.
question here. So when I'm selling, I actually prefer buy it now, but I am on eBay, but I am really enjoying the Whatnot experience and the live selling aspect of it because it allows me to interact and entertain and talk to my customers. So something I never got the experience on eBay. So that's a really cool and new. But I say, for the money wise, overall, I would prefer the buy it nows. You just make more money in the long run doing that. And as a buyer, I always prefer buy it now, so I have it right now. But I will say, for entertainment purposes, I do like the thrill of an auction. So I would say I am more and more doing more and more auctions now as a buyer, especially because I can just go right on my phone and go right to Whatnot and go there. Or I've actually been going to some live auctions in person. So I'm still getting the instant gratification from those. I'm not waiting on eBay for an auction to end in 7 days or a high bid for an auction to end, in a week or two or so. So if it's an auction that I can still get the same day, I like the auction aspect of it.
So for me, for buying, for personal purposes, I like buy it now. I want it right now. Jocelyn has now transformed into Dagny.
Hold on.
If you do not know, Dagny is Flying Pig Thrifts, and she's filling in
What,
for us
Dagny?
for the last little bit. Yay!
Hey!
That's because Kat's OCD about the 4 squares. If you guys don't know that, after 3 years, I have to have 4 squares. That's one of my things. So
I am going this way. Do you want me to see if I can turn myself?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Okay.
So I'm going to answer, and then if you want to, Dagny, you can. They're asking, what do we prefer, auction or buy it now? And I said we could answer for like buying and selling. So I was saying, for me, buying for myself, I want buy it now. I want it right now for personal. For buying for my business, I prefer auction because typically I can get it cheaper.
Yeah.
And that is mine. And as far as selling, I like both. I think auction a lot of times is, one, it's faster and it's quicker money. It might be less than you would get if you put it buy it now and waited for a bit. So I do a mix of both. So I have some faster and some slower selling. So Dagny, what do you like?
I like for purchasing and buying stuff, I like auctions because then you can get a flat of something. On Thursday, I'm going to go pick up some auction winnings. And then I feel I can pass that on to the buyer. If you're selling it at auction, you can start it low. And it's okay if it goes for $5 because you haven't put a lot of money into it. When I'm selling things, I always, on eBay, I make sure that if this is a high selling item, I do put it at auction. But then my other things I sell are buy it now and always or best offer. Always.
Perfect.
Because I'll take something else.
Right. Yeah. Take a little bit lower, especially
I'll
if you
take a
got
little
it
bit
while.
lower to move it on. Yes.
Miss Susan said, my items tend to only get a few views, even good items. What is the secret through breaking through this issue? You must be getting a lot of views in order to make the sales that you are. What are your thoughts on that? I know what Jake is going to say. Go ahead, tell him again.
If you only source and list fast sell-through rate items, you're going to have a ton of views. If you only source and list really slow sell-through rate items, you're not going to have a ton of views because people aren't looking for those items. But there's a ton of different strategies that you can use to get more eyeballs on your listings, such as promoted listings. I know the majority of people hate those, but you can also hop on Poshmark, hop on Mercari, hop on Facebook Marketplace. You can get more eyeballs on your items through a ton of different ways. And sometimes just dropping your item $5, you immediately start to get views and sales. Sometimes you're just a little too high priced.
And also, I show them on Instagram. I don't really do anything nothing on Facebook because I prefer Instagram. And so I will put up like, these are new listings. They're live, ready to go. And I think that helps too. The YouTube helps because people see what I'm buying. But I think even before I did YouTube, I put a lot of things on Instagram, and then I would go back in and say, "Oh, this sold," so people knew like things were moving along, just to kind of promote it. And I know Kat is going to say, change your photos, take it down, put it back up, and I have done that too. Rearrange some things just to make it fresh and at the top of your list.
Yeah, pretty much what everyone has said so far. But I would also say is, it really comes down to how many items you have in your store. Because if you only have 5 or 10 items in your store, you're not going to get a lot of views. But if you're listing 50, 60, 70 items of the similar item as well, you will get more views on those items. Because I know every time if I look for something, I always look to see what that seller has. If something that I like is priced right, I'm going to click on their other items to see what else they have in that store. And that does also help produce extra views to your listings. But pretty much what everyone else just said already.
I'm going to say something that nobody else said. And I'm going to say, I don't care how many views I get. You know what? Because it only takes one for it to sell. And that's where, like Jake's saying, if you're getting fast selling, but I think if you are dwelling on things that really in the grand scheme of things don't matter, like if you could have hundreds of views and it not sell if the price is wrong or your pictures aren't good. So I don't think my views are really relative to my sales, to be honest. And they reset on eBay now. I do promote everything. Like Jake was saying, I'm 100%, my whole store is promoted. I would say keywords are super important. I have a few videos on keywords and how to come up with them, how to add more. I think that adding keywords, like with vases, like I'll put vase on a picture because somebody might use a picture, whatever that word is, for a vase, so I think of like for a decor, I think of all the different things they could use it for. Like, is it, a kitschy item? Is it boho? You want to put stuff that, like, if somebody looks for a boho, I don't know, towel or bowl, or they would find your item, where if you just had brown wood bowl, they're not going to find it. So have good pictures, good titles, use the keywords, and don't look at the views. Don't look at them. No. Like, if you're making the sales you need to make, who cares? Like, right. So the reason that I'm getting a lot of sales is not because I'm getting a lot of views. It's because I'm listing 150 to 250 items a week. So, and it's funny because my video coming out Thursday is going to be a big old thumbnail in your face saying, stop comparing yourself to others. And I think that's very, very important because I don't know how many you have, but if you have 600 items, comparing yourself to me with 6,000 and over 200,000 in inventory listed is not fair to yourself. Yeah. You could be getting down on yourself, but you're comparing apples to oranges. So my personal thought is views don't matter. That's how I feel about it.
The only thing I would add to this is if you ever go into your eBay store, you can actually search from highest to lowest your view count. And what I used to do back in the day is my items that had a lot of views that people were buying, I would reassess those listings and then relist it and maybe lower the price or change it because I'm already getting a ton of views. So why aren't they purchasing it? There's something going on there. Either I'm slightly over the price of the market or something else. And those items would sell pretty fast when I would do that. So just a different way to look at it too.
I don't see mine where I can do it by that.
So if you go to your active listings, you may have to add it, but there is
I have it on there. It's at the far right, but it's there. But it won't let me click to toggle up and down. It's not one of the options.
Yeah.
Watchers I can, but not
mine.
views.
I can do it on mine. You might want to try refreshing your page.
I just pulled it up.
Oh.
It's because it knows I don't care about the views.
That's why. You just jinxed it. So.
And seriously, it has a question mark. It says this column shows the number of page views, but no arrow. Okay. It just knows it's not there. I don't know. Miss Susan said, I saw a Google ad that said something about pay-per-click advertising. Do you know what this is, and do you feel there is any value?
I feel there's a lot of value if you are at scale and if you are competing in a very highly competitive category such as CDs, books, media. For the average reseller that has less than 2,000 items in their store and they're just getting one-off items, I don't see much value in these whatsoever.
I don't know what that is.
So you can pay every time someone clicks on it, you would have to pay an advertising fee. So eBay has a feature that you can actually do that on there. I am not a big fan of it. And Rally Roots actually did a video where they put up a vintage shirt and they did pay to click. And it got like 4,000 views, something ridiculous amount of views without people buying it. And he got charged like I think that was like this for like $179.99. And I think he had like $184 in like pay to click fees because everyone kept clicking on it, but no one bought it. So I would say I'm not a big fan of it because especially if you have a hot item or something people don't look at it, doesn't mean they're actually going to buy it. This goes back to what we were just previously speaking about where, we're not paying for views. You don't want views. You want people to buy. So just because you get more views doesn't mean people are going to buy it. So just be very careful. If you are going to do it, you can actually cap it so that you don't, push it too far, or because you leave it uncapped, that's when you get yourself in a lot of trouble when it comes to pay to click. So
yeah. So I did see eBay's offering like $100 credit right now if you want to try it. Just FYI, it was up on the top of my Seller Hub. The only time I would ever consider doing that is if I had like 100 of one item that was a decently hot selling item and saturated. So then it would be fine because it can sell and sell again and sell again and sell again. But I would never do this for a one-off.
Doesn't Etsy have a pay to click as well?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought they did.
Miss Catherine. We clicked. Me and Rod are two in sync at this point, and we click the same thing at the same time all the time. So when you guys see stuff go off and on, it's us hitting it at the exact same second.
That's good.
What's going on. I know we're like, we should know though, and one of us pulled, but then neither one of us would click it. And
like, why aren't you putting it up, Kat? And she's like, well, I thought you were going to do it, and then here we are.
So we'll just keep doing.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Catherine sent us $5 super chat and said thanks for doing a live. You are so welcome. Thank you guys all for watching. We appreciate each of you coming every week. Here's Dalton, a little Dalton. This was when he was little.
Hi, I'm Dalton.
Oh, he's so little.
I know, he was itty bitty then. He's getting so much taller now. It's crazy.
Aww.
Miss Marcia wants to know what are some ways to stay motivated when you don't feel like listing.
Good question. Get this a lot actually.
Yeah. So this is where a lot of people say that I'm kind of like more type A because this is why I have a draft bank and why I do some of the things that I do so I can stay ultra consistent. A lot of people think you have a draft bank and you list the exact same amount of items every single day for the algorithm, but I do it strictly for discipline and for business purposes. So because I just do the exact same thing every single day for the first 6 hours of my day, I never miss. So I get up at the exact same time. I do my walk. I currently have a hernia, so I haven't been working out in a while, but once that gets taken care of, then I'm going to go back to my workout routine. But I don't know. It's hard to not be motivated when you've just decided a really long time ago that you're just going to do it. That's kind of the household that I grew up in. I'm actually a Mormon, so I served a mission for 2 years where I went to Mexico, and I decided that I was going to do that when I was 5. So when it came to 18 to actually make the decision, it was already made for me 13 years ago. So that's kind of how I work. I know that's not like usually super relatable, but if you can just work on discipline, even if it's just in small increments, it's going to pay off.
I'm motivated to list. I try to list every day, and now I sell on more than one platform. So I know I'm motivated to. I just got off of Whatnot, so I knew I had to load that show for tonight's, and I know I have to do it for Friday's show. I know I can't ignore eBay. I had been ignoring eBay for a little bit when Whatnot was like really focusing, and then I noticed, hey, you sell more if you list more. And then now with Jocelyn's Knickknacks, I tried to list there too. When I was working for her, I would list every day because I had to list her things, and then I needed to list my things. And so I've never, it's like I don't want to list. It's like, okay, I have to get at least some done. I want to clear off this section of the floor. Let's list all this stuff. So I don't feel I have motivated. It's just like if you're motivating, just like I'm going to list for the next couple hours, but I list, I think something somewhere every day.
So it's difficult, especially because it can come the same thing every single day. Life gets in the way. So, you almost have to trick yourself something or change things up. I always tell people maybe change environments, try going to the park, try to go to a coffee shop because you're there and you know that you can't leave until you finish your daily listings. I was lacking motivation there for a little bit. So every day you have to ship, because if you don't ship your items, you're going to get dinged on eBay, and that could jeopardize your account. So first thing I would always do is wake up and ship my items first thing in the morning, get to make sure they're taken care of. Well, now I change it where I had to list 5 items or 10 items a day before I started my shipping. So I knew I had to get to my shipping. So I couldn't get to my shipping till I did my listing. So sometimes you have to, do little things like that to try to motivate you or try to force yourself to do stuff. Keep a board next to where you work too. Put pictures up, set goals, things that remind you what you want to do. One of my favorite quotes is from Zig Ziglar. I posted here in the chat and posted up, but he always talks about motivation is like bathing. It's something that we have to do daily, and it's something that, it doesn't last, and you need to do daily, plain simple. And you have to find ways to keep yourself motivated. And that sometimes that changes at all point in time. And, for me, I'm driven because I don't want to work a corporate job. So that's motivation enough for me. I have goals with my family, stuff I want to reach, but not everyone is on that same page. Some people are doing this part-time or full-time where they have a partner that can support them, or they have that additional help. So they don't have that urgency to perform and do what they need to do. So I would say find ways, work backwards, ask yourself, why aren't you motivated? And then if you know why you're motivated, that can help you maybe work on fixing that, and then find different ways to move forward.
Yeah. So and I don't remember who said this. This is a quote too. Like you don't have to be motivated to start, but you have to start to get motivated.
Right.
So a lot of times you aren't motivated when you start doing it, but once you start doing it, kind of moving and doing it makes you do more. I'm motivated because I lost listings and had to pay people twice for them. And now if I see my drafts get above 150, I start freaking out because I don't want that to happen again. And they, on a good day, can list 50 to 75. So, I mean, like, I can't get very far behind them. So for me, it's a little more motivated I have to pull stuff for them to photograph and list every day. So my situation's very different from what a typical reseller is going to be, because I have 5 employees that work for me, and we're doing Whatnot. Like, it was yesterday, guys, we had 150 packages go out, 150. And that was 50 on eBay, I believe almost 100 on Whatnot, and 15 on Knickknacks. So we had a lot going out. So just like Mondays for us, shipping takes several hours out of the day. I think for me, I'm trying to get, I need a little bit of Jake. I need like 5% of Jake to function a little better. because I just like, I have so much going on. I have 2 YouTube channels. I have a 5-year-old. We do Whatnot. We do eBay. Like, my poor Instagram has been neglected. That happens off and on. I haven't sent a newsletter in like 6 months. And stuff just kind of gets pushed to the back burner. So for me, I need to get more organized. And I've been saying this for like probably 3 years since I started my YouTube channel. But it's hard. And then Kat keeps adding things on, you know, like knickknacks and whatnot. But I love doing it all, and it's all working. And I've heard several other people do this. I'm one of those people that I work better under stress. I don't like being under the stress, but I function better under it. And I'm like, so not having it, I think I could be a lot more, what is the word I'm looking for? What is the, like, effective? What, somebody help me. Like a lot
Efficient.
more, huh?
Efficient.
Yes, thank you, Jake. See, that's why I need Jake. A lot more efficient if I wasn't so stressed and like ping-ponging all over the place, and set a schedule. So I'm going to try again. Oh, I forgot. We also have a farm. We still have 100 baby axolotls. I have chickens. I have dogs. We spent 4 hours at the vet yesterday getting everybody caught up on their shots. We are good for 3 years now. But we were crazy on my birthday. Okay. My husband's like, you scheduled the appointment. We brought the 4 cats, the 3 kittens and the mama cat we rescued, and the dogs to get all their shots updated and fixed. So I bought 7 animals in at the same time on my birthday. Yes. And a partridge in a pear tree. Before I had Dalton, I had goats. I had peacocks, I had ducks, I had like a full-fledged farm. And when I had Dalton, I was like, I cannot do this with a baby. So we have narrowed, like, it is down, but it is still quite a bit of taking care of and doing stuff. And it might have even been Marcia. One of my friends I was chatting with, they're like, delegate. So like, that's the thing, is I've got so much going on, the whole control aspect of it, of wanting it to be exactly like I want. I have to let it go and let it be okay if my employees are doing it. You know, it's not going to be exactly like I do it, but I have to realize I can't do everything. That's the hard part for me, because I think I can do everything. It was Marcia. See, it was me and Marcia chatting about it. But like, one of the things for me with having employees, I don't trust or feel that anybody has the knowledge I have to price things. And that's not something I'm willing to give away or let go of. So that's why the drafts go in the drafts, and I price everything. Because if we sold all jeans or all t-shirts, you know, something that was easily compable, then I would, but I don't. I do all this one-off stuff. I have like a little dragon sterling silver thing that's worth over $1,000, and they might go put it on for 20, and I'd be like, like, you know, so. Oh, so I will try and upload a new video of the axolotls. There were 200, 40 of them moved to the pet store over the weekend. They moved into the pet store. They got 40 of them from me. But I'll update. I do still have them if anybody's interested in an axolotl. Look it up. I have plenty of them, all of the colors. Russell wants to know, he found a plush at Goodwill. When he looked it up, it said it was a bootleg popple. Can he sell it on eBay?
I just want to add one more thing to the motivation thing, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So as you guys can tell, I like comparisons and metaphors and stuff. So professional eaters can eat 20,000 calories in one sitting. And what they do is they will only eat protein until they're sick of it. And then they will go to carbs until they're sick of it. And then they can go back to protein when they didn't even think it was imaginably possible in the first place. And so just breaking it up into, you know, if you're an everything seller, which I believe the majority of the people that are listening to this are, if you have 7 plushes and 13 shirts and 9 video games, just list all the plushes and then all the shirts and then all, just, you know, kind of break it up into that. Or even if you're sourcing, Like this lady, she reached out to me and she's like, all I do is source women's tops, and I did it for 11 days straight and I'm burnt out and I don't want to do it anymore. And I said, well, do you like toys? She's like, yeah, I love toys. Like, hey, even if you're not going to source for your eBay shop, like go head over to the toys, just look at some stuff, maybe even look some stuff up on your phone. And if you want to list them, go ahead and do that too. And then she said she was able to just like get right back into the sourcing. So breaking things up can really help too for motivation and keeping you going. Bootleg Popple, I don't know what that is. So.
I looked up Popple. I looked up Popple while you were talking. It's a fluffy plush. If the one you have is not a real one, then don't sell it as a Popple because you'll get in trouble. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean,
so you would just put fluffy plush.
Well, we flip.
Yes.
Jake, were you
and then I would
trying
put
to
in the
get her
list.
into the hot seat?
I would put in the. Yeah, I know. I don't want to be first. I would put like fluffy, whatever, and then in the listing say this looks like a Popple, but it is blah blah blah. I would be honest and upfront. Don't be silly and get kicked out for selling bootleg Popples.
Yeah, so,
I got kicked off eBay. That would make a good video.
I got
eBay for selling bootleg Popples.
Yeah, I'd watch that video.
don't step over $100 bills to pick up pennies. So what I mean by that is how much money are you going to make off this bootleg Popple compared to how much money can you make long term on your eBay store? You know, so that's why you just got to be careful. They do sell on eBay, but the thing is just make sure that you word it correctly and just be careful. I mean, you can buy bootleg concert shirts on eBay. You can buy a lot of things. There's a lot of vintage bootleg stuff that sells really well.
It sells high. Some of that stuff sells super high.
But you can't. You just have to be careful how you word it. There's a difference, and just let you know, there's a difference between bootleg and a difference between counterfeit. A lot of people think it's the same exact thing. There's a difference between the two. So keep that in mind.
All right. Cassandra says, I find myself addicted to everyone's videos to learn, but that's in my spare time, and then I don't get listing done. So and I don't want to say this because I make thrifting videos, but I had to stop watching thrifting videos because thrifting videos I had to watch. I know, Dagny. I had to watch them, and the same thing. I wouldn't get anything done. So maybe do them like listen to like this, a podcast. You don't have to look at us to listen to us while you are listing. There's Trash to Cash, and there are a lot. Let's Do Laundry podcasts. There are a lot of reseller podcasts that might motivate you while you're listing that you don't have to look at. So for me, I couldn't watch thrifting videos while I'm listing because I would be like, oh, what are they finding? And then I'm like, well, crap, it's been an hour and I've listed one thing. So I can't watch thrifting videos while I am listing. It is just not, it doesn't work for me. So what I found is motivational videos. I really like Oprah a lot. I like what is Mel's last name? Mel Robbins. I like motivational speakers because they're like, get off your butt and do what you need to do to get what you want. And then I'm like, oh, I got a list. So that's what I found. So find something you can watch on YouTube that will still allow you to list, even though I hate saying that because I have a thrifting channel too.
Use it as a reward too, and don't put those videos on until you do an X amount of listings, and then use it as a reward. So it's going to motivate you to get your listings done.
Yeah, list 10, watch a video, list 10 more, or something like that. Like I used to reward myself with trip to the thrift store. If I listed so many items, then I could go thrifting. Acting like you're a 5-year-old sometimes works, you know, and if you get candy because you were good, then if that works for you, then do it.
I just had a $100 offer accepted for a comic book and then automatically cancellation saying that my son accepted it. But the worst thing is I wish eBay, I'm okay with that. If accidents happen, I get that. But the only thing that sucks is you lose all those watchers that you had on that item because you have to relist it
because the ending listed. Yeah.
Because it ends the listing. So I wish
I just said that backwards.
If you relist an item that was ended due to buyer cancellation, you should be able to get all those watchers automatically back. It's frustrating.
Yeah, like a way like that it repopulates.
Yeah. Because there's a cancellation, it just automatically puts those people back on as a watcher. eBay.
Does
You know,
anybody know where JoJo goes to see this for her yearly to see if she's over the 20,000? And she said in the chat she does understand that it's taxable from any amount legally.
Yes.
So I
So
want to
if
make
she
sure
would
you're
go-
clear on that.
She can just click on her sales and then put the numbers for the entire year. It should be under my eBay hub.
Let's see. Performance.
Just go to Seller Hub and
Yeah.
you go to
yeah. If you go to the
sales,
performance
this year.
tab, so like, oh, mine's kind of sad for this year. I'm not going to say it because you guys will get super mad at me, but it is down from last year.
You can also do it from your sales tab in my eBay as well, where you can adjust it and see what your sales were for the whole year too, or performance.
Mm-hmm.
Adjust the breakdowns.
I look at these numbers way more than I should.
I look at them
though.
occasionally, but it's hard with doing Whatnot because Whatnot's a significant part of our income now. Whereas like we started Whatnot in September actually, so these would probably be fair comparisons now because I was doing Whatnot this time last year. But like earlier in the year, it was not a fair comparison because I didn't have Whatnot and I was concentrating on eBay. So yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things. Hey guys, guys, the Thrifting Twins were supposed to be on with us tonight, but they were not feeling well. So Jocelyn graciously accepted to come on last minute for me, and Dagny is filling in for Jocelyn last minute
Everybody's
as well.
sick.
So
Up
yay!
next.
I know,
How are
right?
you feeling? You gonna pop out too?
Then you have like
We
10
should do
minutes.
like a
Go on,
round
you got this.
robin thing. Wouldn't that be cool one night?
like a Ray
Rob?
talk show.
Rob.
Hey, everyone, just
Yeah.
30 minutes.
What was my
segments and
name,
just go
Cat?
through.
Jeez. But that would
Marcia did it last week. I'm going to tell on her. I cannot talk. And you're going to see in my video that comes out Thursday, I couldn't talk then either. I was like, watch, I'm going to do it on the show. Like, I just couldn't speak. And I'm going to leave it in. I'm not editing it. I just sound like a ding dong. That's one of my favorite things to say is ding dong.
Ding dong.
Good. I'm glad you're feeling better quick. So it is almost 10. So I'm going to let Jake tell you guys bye. And Dagny can tell you hello and bye all at the same time. And then Rod and I will tell you as well. I believe Becky's asking if Whatnot has a spot. If they don't, you can email them and they will send you it. I know they will. I know they have like the 2 weeks. They have the Seller Hub that has a little more information now. I'll look and check on that while they're telling you their goodbyes and see if I can find it real quick. So here is Jake.
All right, guys. It was really fun being here. I'll come back as often as these two will let me. I don't really have anything to plug. Just keep working really hard every day. I don't want to get too sappy, but I just want everyone here to know if anyone hasn't told you that they're proud of you in a while, you should be proud of yourself. You're coming to a podcast about reselling to further your knowledge and to make more money, and you should really be proud of yourself for that. So keep killing it. Let's have a good quarter four, and I'll see you later.
Plug your YouTube.
My name is Jride Flips on YouTube.
Your YouTube, man.
My name is Jride Flips on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook.
There you go.
TikTok has been going really well, and it's been a lot of fun on TikTok. But I'm a different person on YouTube than I am on TikTok. I'm a lot more sassy on TikTok because of the psychological things that help you get put out into the algorithm more. So be careful over there.
All right, here's Dagny.
Hi there. Thank you, Kat, for letting me come in. I have to tell you, Kat, that Jocelyn sent me a message on Instagram at around like 7:45, and I was in my show, and I was like, oh, am I supposed to? And I figured, someone else will text me if you needed me here. So I appreciate that. I got to pop it on for this little bit. I always like coming here and talking to you guys. I am Flying Pig Thrifts on YouTube, and I am also the same name on Instagram and Whatnot. And I am on Knickknacks as well. And it was a fun short time here.
Thank you. Rod, what's going on? What's coming up?
I dropped a brand new video today. It's by far one of the craziest sites ever. I went to a flea market that has a toy graveyard, we call it. They literally have like 30 tables of bags of toys, like 6 rows high. You have to see it. Just look at the thumbnail. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I dropped a new video today on that one. I'm 23 subs away from my flipping and punching channel from hitting 1,000. So I appreciate you guys, all your support there. Tomorrow night on Whatnot, I'm giving back to the community since I hit 10,000 subs on YouTube and 2,000 on 2,000 followers on Whatnot. I'm doing a free show. Everything's free. Free shipping, free items from 6:30 to 7:30. I'm giving away everything for free. And then Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker, I'm going to rate him. He's going to free show from 7:30 to 8:30. So you guys get free items for 2 hours.
And then Kevin, Commonwealth Picker, should raid Pat, who is starting at 8:30. Kevin, Commonwealth Picker. I'm doing all sterling silver tomorrow night, and I have over 30 J King gemstone pieces, really rare ones. They'll be starting at $50. One I saw has a sold comp of over $500 on eBay. So tomorrow is going to be knock your socks off sterling silver on Whatnot for me at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I do want to tell you on Whatnot, you can see it. You go to your seller hub, you go to your analytics, and you can hit year to date. And I'm going to just share my numbers because this just blew my mind. I've sold $215,000 on Whatnot this year, which is crazy. That is double what eBay is, guys. Double what eBay is. Which gives you, I do an end of year review. I just kind of gave you a synopsis really quick. Yay, I'm glad you got him, Jojo. So yes, Whatnot has been amazing for us. We are changing it because the numbers were going down. I am changing my model. I'm doing more higher dollar items like the J King, but there's actually at the $50 start, there's room for $100 profit for a reseller on some of those even more. So, yeah, super excited. I do a end of year review every year of all the platforms and show my screen, show you exactly what I sold, how much I made, and completely transparent with you. That is not profit. That is not profit. I want to say that over and over and over. We next week have 2 people all who have not been on before. We have Inked Picker, and I told you I can't talk, and Flippin' Ain't Easy on with us next week. We are here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So come, yay! See? Chelsea's wearing hers. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for supporting me over on Whatnot. I love selling the jewelry. I still have a ton of clear out stuff, so I will be doing quite a few auctions. Hey, that is you. I will have quite a few auctions at the $2 start. Today I did scrapbooking stuff.
Yeah,
like
I was watching that.
I did it different. So I ran it for a minute, and everything I sat down, you got for $3 in a minute. And it's been sitting here for me to list for 3 years. And I'm like, I'm just putting it on Whatnot.
And then you were adding to it too, right? You added to it.
Yeah, and some of them went quite high. Like if everybody kept bidding, I kept adding. So some of the stacks were like really big.
There were some deals.
The stacking game.
I was glad. So I'm going to be doing that to move through a lot of stuff here soon. I might have some vintage linen boxes, like bulk boxes, just to move some because I have so much. So watch my Whatnot. I'm going to be doing random things like I like to do. Don't ever think you know what I'm doing, because you
have your jewelry and then it's like, Cat's Live, I'm selling bananas. And they're like, okay, I'll watch this. What's she selling?
You don't ever know, guys. Turn on notifications. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing half the time. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys coming. We will see you guys next week. And thank you all so much. Bye, guys.